So, hands up who's done this before. No one? Alright, okay, fair enough. Batman, target? No? Okay. Oh. So, right at the beginning then. Okay. So, this is, if you remember before we were doing we were just doing kind of colour prints, you're using paper stencils, and they were breaking down quite quickly. You're all getting fairly irate with it, I think, and somewhat cursing. This is how, if you're going to do this professionally, or if you wanted to make a little bit of money on the side, reproducing your artwork, this is kind of the way you do it, okay? So this stuff that's on the screen is called a photosensitive emulsion.
What's it, what?
Photosensitive emulsion. You'll notice when I pause, that's the time to write something.
Emulsion is spelled EMULSION. Rather than with an I, most people spell it with an I. It's actually spelled with an E. So if you're looking it up, look for EMU.
I don't know what So these are essentially like photographic paper, okay? They're sensitive to ultraviolet light. But once they've been exposed in the same way as a photograph, they're fine to be out and do stuff with, okay? But initially they'll be stored in the dark, okay? So if you ever come to use one of these, and it's already got an image on, you can't re-expose it, you have to clean it, it's recoated, and then we wait for the coating to dry and you can use it, right? So one of the kind of schoolboy errors that people make is to go and grab the screen from kind of over there and try and reuse it or re-expose it. Once your image is on there, it's on there until you wash it off with a certain chemical. Okay? So in front of us, you can see a whole range of stencils. Okay? So at some point you might want to come around the other side and photograph these. But the easiest way to get a photograph or an image or a piece of artwork onto one of these is to use some kind of transparent media. So acetate works quite well. Okay? And then, as far as you can, a monochromatic image. So it's just purely black and white. Okay? Because we're going to use a machine that's going to expose the screen to ultraviolet light and speed up the process of that kind of 30 seconds and actually get this image onto there, you essentially want areas that are going to block light and areas that are going to allow light to pass through. So you can imagine the more transparent your media is, the more successful you are likely to get your image on. Okay? So you can use tracing paper, but it tends to kind of block, okay, because it's not essentially transparent. Okay? So acetate is good, or for those of you that might have a little bit more money, traditionally we use Folex, which is this stuff. Okay? Acetate you can buy a pack of 100 for about £3. This I think was about £35. Okay.
How many sheets?
100.
So 3 times, well, 10 times the price. And what's the difference between Folex and acetate?
Well, essentially, this won't last as long. It's quite thin. It's open to kind of getting warped and bent and all that kind of stuff. It's also got no surface texture whatsoever. Okay, Folex has a slight grain to it in the same way that tracing paper does. So sometimes people like to use tracing paper because of that grain. They can kind of get ink washes, or they can use Conti pencil or things like that to generate their artwork. You can also draw pretty much directly onto this, so you wouldn't necessarily have to draw your artwork on a piece of paper, then photocopy it onto acetate. Okay, you can draw pretty much directly onto this. Okay. Most media will pretty much wash straight off your acetate. Okay.
So would you recommend, if anyone's getting into screen printing in a serious way,
in a hardcore fashion?
Yeah. Get some Folex. Worth investing in some Folex. Right?
Get a Bank-Clone, get some Folex.
Right.
Okay. So we're thinking about our imagery. We need fairly clear, okay? So when you look through these, you'll notice all of them are pretty clear, okay? So generating artwork, you either draw it on paper with marker pens, okay? Then photocopy it onto acetate, okay? You can also use things like Photoshop and all that kind of stuff. I know you haven't been introduced to that just yet, but that would be kind of what we would use as well, okay, to generate that imagery, okay? So you can use photographs. So if you are going to use anything that is kind of photographed, either from life or, let's say, it's going through Photoshop, you'd still need to make sure that you've got this kind of strength of black areas, okay? So anything you use, the reason why we do the kind of monochromatic thing or anything like that, is that you're going to get a pure black, and hopefully somewhere you're going to get a pure white as well. Okay, so if you do use a photograph, it needs to have really, really high levels of contrast. If it's all just shades of grey, it won't really come out when you print. Okay? So you can see that the quality that runs through all of these is their simplicity. Okay? So each one is just purely black and white. Okay? Something like this will work, okay, but could anybody point out a reason why it might not necessarily be 100% successful print?
Is it because of the sort of greyer outsides?
Yeah. So normally you try and isolate that, okay? Because as you print, this kind of noise is going to show up in your print, okay? So we would probably try and isolate that, okay? If needs be, you cut your acetate and cut that bit off. Okay? You can go really linear, and you can have things like this as well, so just really kind of geometric stuff. One thing to remember with the printers that we have is that they will only do A4 size acetate. Okay? Although they're set up to do A3 paper, they will only do A4 acetate. Okay? Apparently the engineers can't work out how to do A3. So, if you do want to make something bigger, then you get into things like this. So you may notice that these are all separate A4 bits all stuck together. Okay. But it does give you the option to make a very large print. Okay. Likewise, if you're going to render something by hand, you could get yourself a bigger piece of acetate or a bigger piece of Folex and draw directly onto it, and you can get that in A3 size. Okay. But most of the time, if we're doing like a repeat pattern or anything like that, this is how we do it. Okay. And obviously, it will take a bit of time to stick it together, right? So you need to be quite precise, right? When we're thinking about using the ultraviolet exposure machine, which is that big grey thing over there, remember all we're doing is blocking light. Okay, that's all this stuff does. Okay, there's no like Harry Potter-esque magic going on. It's purely just blocking light. Quite a basic process. So if you think about it, there are other ways you could do it. You can use physical objects. As long as they're relatively flat, they're not made of metal or glass, and they're unlikely to explode, which is always an important one. Okay? Because when we expose the screen, our acetate actually will sit underneath it. So when it's on the machine, so that stencil makes that screen. Sits underneath, screen goes on top, and then in the machine, the lights at the bottom shines up through. This stuff being sensitive to ultraviolet light, anywhere the light hits, sets, goes hard. Anywhere that's blocked stays soft and can be washed away. Okay? So this ends up essentially being a block, and this ends up being transparent, and whatever you're going to print with can actually pass through that gap. Okay? Therefore, replicating your thing as many times as you wish. So you can think by that physics, like I say, physical objects is a good way to do it. Failing that, we're saying about working directly onto tracing paper or Folex or acetate. That can be done, it just takes a bit of time and a bit of work. Okay? So these are different ways of thinking about doing that. So this is tracing paper, and it's just torn bits of sugar paper and masking tape. Mixed media one. So this is a combination of acrylic paint, marker pen, physical objects, and masking. Each one of those different materials is going to give you a slightly different look. Okay? So the acrylic paint is obviously going to block really, really well. And then things like marker pen aren't going to block quite so much. So you're going to get kind of tone or something like that. Okay? So sometimes these almost collage pieces are quite good to work with because it'll give you an understanding of how different materials block light and how you can get quite creative artistic effects. Okay? If you're more graphics minded, you'll probably be this kind of thing. If you're a little bit more kind of art and design, you might be thinking about these kind of things. Same thing, just working with marker pens, pencils. You see like masking tape with this, as you can see. The absolute kind of perfect guaranteed way to do it, although it does take time, is to use card. Okay, so with a very sharp knife and fairly thin card, you can obviously make a block that way. So if you've got something that's quite geometric, then this is another way to consider to make a stencil. Okay? There's a tutor who used to work on foundation a few years ago who taught me quite a lot about screen printing. And when she did all of her screen prints, most of them pretty much were done this way. So quite big A1 bits of card. She'd normally have an image. You see that one?
Chimneys in Paris.
Chimneys, that's
Yeah.
it. All cut from a photograph on a paper flip card stencil. And actually it gives you a really, really good image because obviously it's going to resist light really, really well. Can't pass through that. Right? So if you've got something that is quite solid, quite blocky, then a paper stencil, a card stencil might be right to do. Okay? So I'm going to show you next the ultraviolet exposure machine, how we use that. So I'm going to take a stencil with me, take this one. Any questions about this so far? No? Okay.
So if you're doing a video, now's a good time to reset your video because the next bit's going to be about 5 minutes long as well.